All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started on Chapter 1, Lesson 9. This is the last writing. This is the last lesson of Chapter 1. We'll be doing the review tomorrow and a review game tomorrow, and then we will be taking the test, Chapter 1 test, on Friday. All right, so you will have one test that you have finished. Now, this one's called problem solving. I've been saying this all year long so far, the whole, almost 2 weeks we've been here. Gavin, will you please turn around? 2 weeks we've been here that we want you to think. We don't want to just give you all the time a problem that says 23 times 2. And you simply just figure it out and blah, 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 and we move on. No, we don't want just that. Okay, what we want to do is to give you problems where you have to think of what the answer is going to be and find a way to get to it. So this one, we're going to use a 4-step plan. Now, will we always use that 4-step plan, or will you always use that 4-step plan? Probably not. All right. Sometimes you can look at a problem. Some of you can look at a problem and do it in your head, but you're probably doing those 4 steps in your head, most likely. You just don't know it. I had a girl a couple years ago at Stalker. Her name was Brianna. She did long division like you guys were doing this morning. She did it all in her head, never wrote anything down. Got it right every single time. And I kept saying, you need to show your work. But she's like, I don't know how to show my work because I do it in my head. So, I understand you all learn differently. And, I don't always expect you to do it the exact same way that we do it. You have your own way. So let's look at this. We have learn the strategy. We have Victor spent $61. So what I would do on your all's paper with your pencils, as we go along, I would circle all the numbers as we come along. So he spent $61. I'd circle it on some sandpaper for his model. Cars. He bought 2 packages. I'd circle that one. Of the smallest grain sandpaper, and he spent the rest on large grain sandpaper. Now, how many packages of the largest grain sandpaper did he buy? Again, this is one of those problems we look at. We say, well, it's a lot of information right here. I don't even know where to begin, so I quit. That's what we do a lot of times. We look at, how many of you put your hand up in the air? How many of you look at a problem like this and be like, I don't know. I'm just going to put down a number, because you do that. I'm horrible at word problems, by the way. When I was your age, we took the test called I-STEP back then. And it was called I-STEP for many, 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 many years. And anytime there was a word problem, I failed it every time. Never got a word problem right. I hated word problems. I wasn't good. I could read the problem fine, but I wasn't good at being able to decide what I needed to find. So that's what this process is about right here, is they give us a chart right here of all of our information. We've circled all the information. Now I want you guys to underline in the problem the question. Somebody tell me, what is the question here? Ireland. How many packages of the largest grain sandpaper did he buy? And I'm going to underline largest grain sandpaper twice. That way I know that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for anything else other than how many packages of the largest grain sandpaper did he buy? So what you want to do on step number 1 is you want to say, what facts do you know? All right, well, what do we know? We know how much did he spend total? Ray, how much did he spend total? We circled it. Yeah, he spent $61 total was spent. Blank packages of the smallest grain sandpaper were purchased. So it tells us how many of the smallest grain, how many packages was that? 2. All right, so we're going to write 2 in here. Now you're not going to have all this stuff written out for you all the time. You have to do this in your own head. It says, what do you need to find? Well, we already have it written out here. The number of packages of the largest grain sandpaper. Look, we already underlined it up there. We're way ahead of the game right there. Let me zoom it. There we go. So, plan. Now, remember we did this with writing. You think, you plan, and then you write. Well, even in math, you got to do it. You have to plan. So, to solve this problem, I can work backwards. So, the smallest size is what? Look up here at your chart. The smallest size of sandpaper is what? Now we got to look at decimals. See, this is where decimals come into play. We got to look at these numbers right here, these three numbers, and decide which one is the smallest. So can we look at which one is this? Casey, what do you think, bub?
The bottom.
He says the bottom. Raise your hand if you agree that's the bottom. I should see everybody's hand up, not just 4 people. All right, yes. That is the smallest, because Casey knows his stuff. 0.001, or 1/1000th of a centimeter. So he bought 2 packages. So Victor spent 2, because this is 2 packages, right? Is that what that means? 2 packages times. So we got to go up here, and what's the cost per package of the smallest grain right there? Ray? 20. So he spent $20. We're gonna go ahead and put dollars there because I like to put dollar signs. You put it before, by the way. I see that on Facebook. A lot of people put a dollar sign after. No, you put it before. So what is 2 times 20? Laura? So we got $40. We know that he spent $40 on the small grain. So we're going to subtract to find the remaining amount spent. So we have $61 total minus how much did you spend again on the small grain? 40. So what is 61 minus 40? Ethan? $21. Are we done? Did we answer what was asked of us? No. What was asked? What was the question? Lauren? What are we supposed to find? Not how much he spent on small grain. How much what? Yeah, how many, right? How many packs of the large grain? So now we need to look at this and say, well, the largest size is, which one's the largest one up here? Which one's the largest? Ireland? Yeah, this 11,000s right here. That's the largest one right there. So, as it says right there, each of those packages cost $7 each. So we're going to take $21 and we're going to divide that by the $7, and that'll give us how many packages. How many packages do we have there, Holly? 21 divided by 7. 3 packages. So we worked sort of backwards there by looking at the information that we have. Again, these aren't problems that you're going to be able to finish in like 10 seconds like a lot of you want to do. You know, we have these problems right here like 23 times 2, and I'm like 6, 4, done, 46. Okay, that's not these kind of problems here. These, you know, a lot of you always ask, and I've always heard over the years, what are we going to learn this crap for? This is why. This math here is the most real math that you're going to get, that you're going to use the rest of your life. My daughter, I was helping her geometry the other day, talking about shapes like parallelograms and the angles inside of it. And I think to myself, unless I'm like an architecture or an engineer, like none of that really matters to me. But right here, you could very easily substitute sandpaper out for, I don't know, packages of cheese, cat food. And you're going to go to the grocery store, you're going to want to know, like, what's the better deal of something. And then just knowing that 23 times 2 is 6. So that's why we do this. And this backside here is what we're going to work on with Louisa. Louisa. Now what I'm going to do is, instead of walking you through this, I've done this before and I usually fail horribly at it, but I got a feeling about you guys. So I want you to struggle your way through this problem. I want to see where your problems lie in this problem. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes, maybe 6, to work on this with a partner with your mask on, of course. and do what we did, circle, underline, and let's see if we can't figure out. We're going to still go through it line by line, but I want to see. So I'm going to give you guys about 6 minutes. Go. All right, I gave you guys a little bit of time to work on that. Now, I asked Holly, I looked at her page, and from what I saw quickly, she had the correct answer. So it says Louisa bought a roll of ribbon. She used 34. So again, I'm going to 34 inches on each of the two. Look, I'm going to circle the two gifts because, excuse me, because those are numbers. Then she used 13 inches on a scrapbook page, and there are 39 pages left. I'm going to underline my question. How many inches did she start with? I'm going to underline start with. Okay. So, what facts do you know? Well, I kind of circled them already, right? That she used 34 inches on each of two gifts. That's the important thing, is she did it each on two gifts. I also know that she used how many inches on a scrapbook? 13 inches on a scrapbook. Okay. And we also know the last bit that I circled is what? There's what left? There's 39 inches left. I think some of you guys are afraid to write. You're afraid to actually write with your hand. You think your hand's going to fall off. Plan. Oh, sorry. What do I need to find here? What does I need to find, Ireland? How many inches did she start with? That's our question. So that's what we got to come back to figure out. Now, plan. Yes, Colton. Oh, okay. But you had a question. You said your hand. I forgot what I was giving. Oh, okay. All right. So I can solve the problem by starting with what she had left, and then I can add the amount of ribbon used. So I can start with, I'm going to start with 39 inches and add the amount she used, right? That's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to start with the 39 because that's what she had left. And I need to know what she started with. So I'm going to basically just add stuff to it. So we have 39. If we say we start here with 39, that's what we started with. And we're going to add to it. How much was the scrapbook? Asher? 13. And then I'm going to add to it, Colton?
I did this a little bit wrong, but
let's hear what you got.
I did 13 and 39 out of those first.
Okay.
And then after 52, I added, after 52, I added 34, and I got 80, and I got,
86. Yeah, you had that. Are we done? You're missing one. You got almost every bit of that right, except you missed one little part. Harley, what do you miss? Yeah, right here, Colton. He used 34 inches on two gifts. So you got to add 34 again, which is going to give us what, Holly? 120. So she started with 120 inches.
I just put that down.
Yeah,
What's that I put it down?
it is a lot. Yes.
What did I did it? I did 68, then I did 13. Now actually you didn't do it. I'm afraid.
Yes, she did. So he said 34, and 34 is 68, right?
Then I did 39 and 81.
Yeah. Either way would work. As long as you add on, as long as you have in this was the 34 times 2 right here. This is the 13, and then this is the 39. So we have all the information. It doesn't really matter what order you put it in, because adding, remember the adding with the commutative property, commutative property, you can add in the numbers any which way. It doesn't really matter. So in the check thing, I just don't do that. All right. Anybody have any questions on that problem there? Okay, apply the strategy. Let's look at the table shows the number of ounces of butter. Now it's something I like, butter. I am a cook. I like to cook. So this interests me. All right, butter used in different recipes. She has 6 ounces of butter left. How many ounces of butter did she have in the beginning? So again, I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to say, I'm going to circle C. She has 6 ounces of butter. My question is, how many ounces of butter did she have at the beginning? I'm going to underline that twice so I know that's what I need to find. So if we go through that process again, this whole understand, which is what we're doing, plan, and then solve. We're at the understand part where we've circled stuff. All right, our numbers are like right here. These are our numbers that we need to look at right here. Numbers are in there. So how are we going to plan to solve this one now? So what are we going to have to do? Check the back. This is page 63. You should have torn it out. So she has 6 ounces of butter left. How many ounces of butter did she have at the beginning? You still looking for it?
It's just I don't have much.
Oh, yeah, your guys is a little different than mine,
That's
isn't
why
it? That's weird. So she has 6 ounces left. She has 6 ounces of butter. So how are we going to work on this, Asher?
You add 6, 8, and 4.
Okay. And what do you get when you do that?
You get 18, and then you add another 6.
You got to add that 6 there on, right? And what do you get when you do that?
24.
Yep, 24 ounces. So she started out with, or he, Marty, started out with 24 ounces of butter, and then she has 6 ounces left. That's what she made. Very good. All right, at the end of their 3-day vacation, I have a car, you don't. Is it the same problem, though? You guys have at the end of the 3-day vacation?
Yeah.
Okay. The Palmers traveled a total of 530 miles. On the 3rd day, they drove 75 miles. On the 2nd day, they drove 320 miles. So how many miles did they drive the 1st day? Now, what's the total they drove? They did 3 days. So the total is 530 miles is what they drove. But it's not really asking us. They're asking us how many miles did they drive the 1st day? So we have the 2nd day and we have the 3rd day. What's the 2nd day? They drove what? 320. We're going to put that in here for the 2nd day. What did they drive on the 3rd day? Yeah, they didn't drive very much on that day, did they? So what we're doing here is we need to find, let's just label this as D for day. Kind of got a little algebra going on here is what I would do. So what do we got to do now? We will add these together. What's 320 and 75? What is it? Yeah, this is 395. So between days, these two here, they drove 395. This is what they drove total was 530. So what do we got to do to these two numbers right here to find what that missing thing is right there? What do you think we got to do there, Laura? We got our total right here, and this is what they drove on days 2 and 3. We need to find the third day. So what do we got to do to these two numbers? Add them? Oh. Holly, what are you going to do? Yeah, you're going to have to subtract them. I kind of set that problem up a little odd, but so you do 395, 530 minus 395. So can we do 0 minus 5? No. Borrow from this makes this a 2, makes this a 10. What's 10 minus 5? What's 2 minus 9? Can't do it, Ray. You got to go over here and borrow. Makes this a 4. Now this is a 12. What's 12 minus 9? 3. What's 4 minus 3? So this is our answer, 135 miles on day 1.
Not even gonna try this.
Did you get it?
No, I didn't add.
Oh, you added like Laura. That's a lot of you want to do is you want to add. I get that. Okay.
I'm not good at these ones either.
You divided number by 3. So divide by 3. Oh, sorry. This is a divide, not add. Divide. You add 6. Then you subtract 7. And the answer is 4. Ah. What do we got to do to figure that one out now? Yeah. What do you think we got to do to figure this one out? This is the exact same, really. It's just now it just gives us numbers and it doesn't give us a bunch of they're going on vacation and they're buying pies and stuff. Colton?
21.
He says the answer is 21. You're close. What do you have?
The answer?
Yeah.
15.
He says it's 15, so let's try it. How did you do that, Asher? Wait till Casey gets back.
I just started numbers that you divide by 3. It's 15 divided by 3 is 5. You add 6, which is 11. Subtract 7 is 4.
Okay. All right. So he just put a number in that you could divide by 15, which that makes sense because the answer would be 4. So you're obviously going to have a smaller number. So he just say, well, I know you can put 15 divided by 3. So if I do that, my problem looks like this. And let's see if that actually. So he kind of like did a guess, and he was right. So we got to do division first. So this, what's 15 divided by 3? 5 plus 6 minus 7, which is 11 minus 7, which equals 4. Now you could have done, I believe, let me see here. 11. Yeah, he's got that. All right. Next, we're going to do a few more here. Mr. Toshio, okay. Mr. Toshio lent out 11 rulers, circle it. Everybody circle it. At the beginning of class, collected 4 rulers in the middle of class, and he gave out 7 at the end of class. Notice how I underlined those because the numbers, I only really circled the numbers. He had 18 at the end of the day. So how many did he start with? So how do we want to go about planning this one? We got our understanding, we got our numbers down. What do you think, Casey? Add what?
11.
So he lent out 11 at the beginning, but we want to know how many did he start with? Gave away, let people borrow, that kind of thing. Let's see. He said you're going to do what now, Casey? I'm sorry.
Add 11.
Well, really what we're asking here is whatever this number here is, we don't know. He gave away 11 rulers minus 11. And he collected 4, so it means he added 4 back. And then he gave out 7 again. And what was the total at the end of the day? 18. So we're missing that number there in the beginning. So you could either do what Asher did earlier and just guess a number and see if it works out for you. Or what else? Holly, what do you think? I would work backwards is what I do, guys. Work backwards. Since this is minus 7, let's add 7 to 18. What's 18 plus 7? No, 25. So that'd be 25. And instead of adding 4, we're going to do the opposite. What's that? So let's subtract 4. What's 25 minus 4? 21. So instead of subtracting 11, we're going to add 11. So we're going to add 11 to this, and what do we get? 21 plus 11. 32. So he started out with 32 rulers because you could put 32 in here and you're going to get 18 as your answer. One more, then I'll set you on your homework a little bit because then we got to get started. We got to finish up yesterday's project. Lead the way. The Math Club is selling off gift wrap for a fundraiser. They sold all 45 rolls of solid wrapping paper at $4 each, and rolls of patterned wrapping paper at $5 each. If they made, this is what they made total, so they made $265. How many rolls of pattern wrapping paper did they sell? Patterned. So how do we want to go about this problem? Again, setting these up is the biggest problem that we have. We have total that they made 265 right here. They sold 45 rolls of solid at how much each? $4. So we would say 45 times 4, right, to get that one? Can anybody tell me what 45 times 4 is right off? I mean, you could probably do it on your paper there real quick. Holly. So $180 was spent right here on solid. Okay. So now I ask, what do we do with this 180 and this 265? What do we got to do to that now, Ray? Minus, you subtract it. So let's get over here where I can see, and we do 265 minus 180. What is 5 minus 0? 5. What is 6 minus 8? Can do it, thank you. Borrow, carry this over there, makes this a 16 now. What's 68? Thank you. $85 is left. Now, $85 is left. Is that the question? It asks for how many rolls. Well, guess what? We sold these pattern ones for $5 a roll. So what do we do with this 5 and this 85 now? What? No, not 85 times. No. We divide. We've hit them all there. So we got to do 85 divided by 5. You can count. You can skip count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. You could do that. That's going to take a while. But what is it? He said 17 because 5 goes into 8 one time. 35. 5 goes into 35 7 times. So the answer is actually 17 rolls of paper, of patterned paper they sold. Woo! Now, I know there's a backside to this. I think you just need to get your feet wet. And obviously, this first page of your homework right here is an example. It gives you the answer already, but this is just an example, so you don't need to do this first problem. It's going to be numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 that you're going to have to work out and try your best on them. What? That one? There you go. Okay. So this is your only homework tonight. I am going to give you guys about for the, I guess, Libby and Sailor. Your homework is just page 66, the back of it, and I've already sent that home with you. So see you later.